Hi, I'm Chantal Hawkins and I play Amoria.
I'm Ethan Dunn and I play Cethrius and I'm director and writer.
I'm Kayla Glover and I am Vienna.
Okay, and I'm asking Vienna questions. So, what was it like to dive headfirst into this expansive world and cast? What was it like on set?
So, I knew about this in high school, but only briefly. So I had inklings of ideas of what it was like. So when Ethan asked me, do you want to be Vienna? I'm like, cool, I have no clue what I'm doing. And he was like, you're a witch. I'm like, cool, that gives me nothing. And then, we went into more detail about that. And I went to DI, scoured for hours for an outfit, and it was a lot of fun being a bad guy for once.
Right, you're
I'm usually not the bad guy. So it was a fun difference to finally be, or try to be intimidating. I don't know if it worked, but I tried.
Honey, you intimidating. You just have this
the way
presence.
you walk, yeah. And you rocked the DI outfit. It didn't look like
Thanks.
DI. Awesome. Well, I have questions for Amoria. So, Amoria, Chantal, what is it like to be at the end of filming and to say goodbye to these characters?
Wait, that's a hard question.
They planned this.
Well, because of what, 3 years ago that we started this? This is crazy. And I was just like, oh, one and done. And then another one. And then another one. So now knowing it's the end is just so like bittersweet. Like when we cut, I was like, I'm done. What? What?
You're
We
no
said bye
longer
to
the
Amoria.
assistants.
It was sad.
But it was a lot of fun these last years, just spending time together. It was stressful, but stressful fun.
You did great as Amoria.
Oh, thank you.
You rocked it. All right, now it's your turn.
All right, Cethrius.
You got the name right.
Is it hard for you to say goodbye to this project after 3 years? You guys get the hard questions.
Yeah.
What parts of filming will you miss the most?
Yes. It is really hard.
Yeah. This was fine. I'm done with it.
No, I'm good. I hated this project. I'm done. No, it was really, 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 really sad. I remember it didn't really hit me because I've been editing so much and like working so hard on it that you don't think about the end much. But I remember when I watched it for the first time when it was done to make sure there's no glitches or anything, I turned to Elena, my wife, and I was like, this feels like over. Like it feels like the end, and I don't know how I feel about that. And it was kind of hard, and I got close to teary. I didn't get teary, but I was like, what the heck? So yes, I think it is really difficult, and I'm lucky though, because I have the consolation of being like, I'm gonna go draw the comic with these characters. Everybody else, you kind of have to like just wait for me to draw it, but for me, I'm like,
chop, Ethan.
I know, I'll get on that, but I feel lucky that I get to at least return to this world, even if it's not film. But because of that, like, when I draw these characters, like Amoria or Vienna or anybody else, I'll always be like, no, that's Chantal, or that's Kayla, or that's like, I know who these people are, so it'll help me to remember and it'll be good, but it is sad.
That's the goal. Okay. Vienna, what is something you loved about playing Vienna? Where did the inspiration for the character come from?
I badgered you so much about details about this character that probably had nothing to do with anything.
But it was so good, it was so good.
Gosh, now I just got distracted. What was the quick question again?
What is something you loved about playing Vienna, and where does your inspiration come from?
Briefly, I already mentioned it. It's a bad guy. I normally don't get to do that, so I was like, cool, I get to be a jerk and hurt people.
Yes.
Yes, try and hold my ground. So that was, I want to play with bad guys now.
You rocked it.
It's fun. It's very fun.
It is fun. I mean, I love being good characters too, because I try to be a good person, so it's easier to tap in.
We're all bad guys here though, so we can just admit that like we had the coolest costumes, we had the best lines.
Okay, here's what's sad though. I didn't realize it was ending at the end of this. I thought it was going to continue because of the few scenes that I had no clue what was going on about. It felt like there was going to be more, so I'm like, oh, I'm going to change my outfit now that I'm with Cethrius. I'm going to match your guys' red aesthetic. I already have things planned out, and then you're like, we're done. I'm like,
maybe one of these days we'll do just like a mini episode of just the shenanigans of this group.
We need Cethrius says. Please give us Cethrius says.
Yes.
Well, and like we were already having like such like cat fighting.
So good.
So good. So good.
So I'm like, that would be wild.
All right. What do you love about playing Amoria, and how do you see her going forward in the comics?
Amoria is just this strong presence and like very distinct look. Like that red cloak is just so iconic and memorable. It's like, oh, that's who you are. And I remember you giving me the original script for this movie, and I read it, and I'm like, Ethan, this is perfect. and then you changed it on me. And I was so mad.
I did change it.
And I was like, why would you change this perfect thing? But then once I was actually in the moment and filming, I was like, I get it now.
I was like, you know what, Amoria's having a great story, but afterwards she's just gonna be like, cool, now I'm like Cethrius' servant. Friend. That's it. But no, now she's got competition and can like mess with each other. Way more fun.
Right. So I'm like I was very upset when Irene first told me the changes. I was like, no, Amoria doesn't get her satisfactory moment. But then that gives her that moment later, maybe in the comics. Maybe.
I promise there's cool stuff for Amoria.
Now she just dies.
Road.
Good things come to those who wait.
All right, my turn for you. What was it like to take the end battle from the planning stage to the end, and the end product? How do you think this? I think it informed the actors on their characters. That was wild.
Yeah, so I've done a lot of filming. I mean, I remember doing interviews for Don't Answer in 2009 or something like that with you.
Oh my gosh!
And so like a long way has come, and yet this still was like the hardest thing I've ever done in terms of filming, like literally ever. Like the choreography behind it, my brother and I worked through that, and it was like 3 months of just like figuring out the choreography. We took a picture of every shot, me and him. Mm-hmm. You guys saw those of like the slideshows. And then we had you guys come and like practice the fight scene at his house.
And it looked amazing.
And it did look great, and it was just like fun to see everybody not in costume and like fighting each other. And then we got there and there was like, I thought it was a one and done, but we did pickups. It was just a lot of work, and again, there was this great experience. It's great now that I'm not living it. But while I was editing it, it was a week ago, so a week before the premiere, and I was editing, and I was lying in bed one night with my wife, and she literally had to like talk me off a cliff of like, what am I doing with my life? Why did I do this to myself?
Oh my God.
And it was really hard, but I think when we showed it, everybody was really happy with how it looked in the end, and I'm really pleased with it. So.
I was very impressed with your skills to make me look like I was there when I wasn't.
Right?
Magical. I was a little worried. I was like,
because you were sick that day. You were really sick.
I was so sick, and I was like, I can't make it. And then when we did pickups, and then I was like, I hope this turns out, and it was flawless.
I'm so glad. Well, and the other beautiful thing is that you talked about informing characters. People just were their characters. Like, it was amazing. I didn't have to prompt them very much. Like, one of my favorite shots of the fight scene is when Lillian looks over and you come in and you like do this hip swaying and it matches the music like so well, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, everyone is just rocking it. And funny enough, Katie, who plays Lithia, I was nervous because I was like, she's kind of a shy person, so I was like, I'm worried that she's not going to have like the oomph. And the first shot we did of the fight, I was watching them from the stage, and John and her go to their like marks, and then Chantel went like this. I mean, not Chantel, Katie did, to John, and I was like, oh my gosh, like no, she's rocking it too. Like everyone rocked it, and it was awesome. So I think they just knew what to do. Yeah. Anyway.
Okay. So you've been in almost every project that Missing Entertainment has done since 2009.
Oh, have I?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
What is it like? How have things changed?
I mean, gosh, I thought you did more. I didn't realize I was in all of them.
Let me think, because you were in Necro Revenant, which was like the first big one.
Oh my gosh.
You were in Point and Fire.
Yeah.
You were in Schizo for as short of a time as that one was. You were in Chiasmus as the main character, and then the next big thing was Ghost Sight, so you've been in every one of them.
And then there was also Don't Answer.
And Don't Answer that you also did. So
congratulations, you are a movie star.
You are in all the things.
Okay then. Wow. Well then in that case, so when we first did stuff, Necro Revenant was just literally us like nerds in the forest with a camera being like, let's go.
I don't even think there was a script.
No, there wasn't. We just literally, like, we have a general idea of what we're doing. There was no script. It was all ad-libbing basically.
Yes.
So going from that, and which was still a lot of fun, to hey, we have a script, which is why I was like, what is this? I don't know what's going on. Yeah, right?
Professionals.
So, yeah, scripts. The choreography was fun.
Yeah.
But you know, it's weird because it has developed greatly, but at the same time, knowing you, I wasn't surprised in any way, shape, or form.
Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely come, I mean, granted, we're not in high school anymore, but it's definitely gone a long way But at the same time, I know your perfectionism, so I wasn't surprised at the same time.
Yep.
And I was like, look at how many friends Ethan has now to do these things. It's not just like the 4 of us.
I'm a big boy now.
Same. So yeah, it's been fun, and I'm gonna go to sleep realizing I've been in everything.
What's whose turn is it?
It's
Is it
your
my
turn.
turn?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, who am I talking to? What is one of your favorite memories from filming these 3 films?
That is a very hard one. Because, like I said, it's been 3 years of just a blast. And I always remember, like, getting excited. Oh, I'm excited to film this scene. Oh, I'm excited to film this scene. And probably my favorite one, there's two, especially it's 2 in this film. The first one is where I chew up Picus. Okay, it's funny, because you can tell from the first one to the second one, I really work on my enunciation.
Those teeth, man.
Those teeth. I sound like I have a lisp in the first one, and I watched it like 5 times, and I'm like, why do I sound like an idiot?
No.
And so I made sure for the second one, like, I knew my lines, I could enunciate, and I sounded proper. And the thing was, we filmed Monsters of the Flame scenes before we filmed Tangled
Pronunciation.
Tangled Thread scenes. And so the first scene was where I chew out Picus. That was the first we filmed since filming Into the Dark. And I was like hounding my lines, practicing them with my teeth. I wanted to sound threatening and intimidating. And the favorite line, I have dreams of Cethrius giving me the orders to draw a blade across your throat. I'm just like, yes, Amoria! And so I'm just so excited to film that scene. So I absolutely loved that part. I also loved, and I didn't realize this, it was the very last scene where we come together, but it's where we're standing outside Xander's bedroom. That's really when I was like, felt like I'm Amoria. And like, I was like,
So good.
This is dope. I don't feel like I have to act. I'm like, this is amazing. But probably favorite memories are just being on set with everybody. And whether it be a terrible day, or a horrible day, or a fantastic day. It was just all fun. Yes, there was a lot of stress. Yes, there was a lot of time crunches. Maybe there was a 1 a.m. film shoot. Who knows?
I'm sure there was. Somewhere in there.
It was just so fun. I took
You rocked those scenes.
Yep.
so many photos.
You rocked them.
I'm the last one to ask
Last
the question.
question.
Last question.
Intimidate.
Be prepared. I'm just kidding. In this film, there is another. In this film, there is another actor who plays Cethrius. What was it like to teach someone to play this same character?
Yeah, so that was really fun. I had imagined it for a while, and I was like, to be honest, the reason I decided to become Cethrius was I was like, I love this character, and I know what I want them to be, and I can't give it to anybody else because it's my baby, and I like need to make Cethrius a certain way, and I don't think anybody else can pull it off. But if there is somebody else who can pull it off, it's my brother. The nice thing is he has such a similar profile to me that I think it makes the transition work, where people can kind of see a similar like facial feature which derives into like who Cethrius is. And I always had this idea that when Cethrius steals different people's bodies, he like transmutes himself into new people with these vessels that Amoria finds him. That slowly but surely his body starts to physically look like who he actually was from the beginning. And that's why Colby and I look similar, is that's Cethrius' profile. So that was the idea, right? And honestly, I didn't have to coach him that much. He had watched the film, and I was like, you should watch them and just like mimic me. And then the only thing that I gave him, I was like, you just have to remember Cethrius is like a prat. Like he's very like tall and authoritative and a jerk because he likes being a jerk. So like just channel like that confidence that he always has, and you're gonna be in a good place. And I think he did a great job in the fortune teller scene. I think that
he did amazing.
I think he did good. And of course having the finger, I think obviously that's like Cethrius' thing. So once you got that, anybody can be Cethrius.
Really?
Amoria, I don't know if he's ever taken a female body. That's probably messed him up.
Try me.
You're like, no, thank you.
Probably messed him up a little bit. Anyway, I think that's all.
Yeah.
That's all the questions.
I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
So, because I wasn't there on the film day that we did the big fight, I had no idea that Cethrius was...
My name's hard.
Cethrius was actually injured. How does that affect him moving forward?
Yeah, so funny enough, in the original script that did not happen. In the original script, I get cut like on my cheek, like barely. Like a little bit of blood, my darkness. I'm talking about Cethrius. The darkness has returned. So, originally he was just supposed to be injured, and the idea is I wanted people to see that as strong as Cethrius is, as powerful as he is, he still bleeds like a regular person. But I was like, I don't know, like as I was choreographing with Colby, I was like, this doesn't feel like it's got the umph I want. And he was like, well, like what if Charlotte's down and then she turns and just like stabs you in the stomach? And I was like, that's actually kind of cool. Like let's play with that. And so we kind of worked with it in the choreography. And I think it's beautiful because it's the only moment where Cethrius loses his composure. Like you can see that he's shocked and he's shook. Like I shouldn't be killable. And she did serious damage to me. Like that could have been a killing blow if she had been able to do more than that. So I think going forward, Cethrius is going to become more paranoid about how mortal he really is. I'm not going to spoil anything in the comic, but he starts to look at one of the characters in Demons Part 1 as his next vessel, and is interested in that individual. And so he's going to be now, Amoria's and Vienna's new task is going to be, get that guy, so I can take over him. So, I won't say.
Darn it! Darn it! Ethan! Give me this. Give me
the deets.
But one thing, I will say this is a spoiler, but I'm really excited about it, so sorry guys. One of my favorite characters ever in the comics is Cougar. He's horrifying.
Oh my gosh, Cougar.
He's so scary, and he's different from every other villain because they all are like planners and strategists, and Cougar is not.
He's wild.
He's out to just murder people, and that's all he wants, particularly Lizzie. And Vienna's new job is Cethrius and Vienna are going to use their magic to bring back figments of Cougar, which will bring, if you loved Cougar, there's more Cougar coming. So, and I loved Cougar. Anyway, that's a good question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
But you guys did amazing as your roles. I'm so happy, and I would not say no to in the future doing a mini episode.
Yes, please give us Sethy Says, please.
Sethy? I can't even see my own character's name. Sethy Says is a great idea.
Yes.
You might see it on this YouTube channel. Thanks guys, you're amazing.
Bye.
Bye.